Lisa Velez, also known as Lisa Lisa of the 80s supergroup Lisa Lisa and Cult Jam, entered the music business at the impressionable age of 13 and went on to become one of the greatest Latin, hip-hop, freestyle, and pop divas of the 80s. With platinum sales, their self-titled debut album topped the charts with the hits I Wonder If I Take You Home, Can You Feel the Beat, and All Cried Out. As an instrumental force in launching freestyle music into the mainstream, Lisa continued her reign with her second LP, Spanish Fly, crossing over to the pop charts with the hits Head to Toe and Lost in Emotion. Seamlessly entering the 90s by collaborating with the hottest producers of that era, C+C Music Factory, they merged dance music and hip-hop with her fourth LP, Straight Out of Hell's Kitchen. The single Let the Beat Hit 'Em became one of the biggest dance singles of the decade. Lisa became a Latin platinum sensation, recognized as paving the way for other Latin female artists like Selena and Jennifer Lopez. After more than 30 years of trailblazing, Lisa's journey is far from over. Lisa recently signed with Snoop Dogg's company, Uncle Snoop's Army, and is working on numerous projects as she continues to tour the world. It is my privilege to welcome Lisa Lisa to Face the Music.
Hey, this is Lisa Lisa, and it's time to face the music with Joby Rogers and my cats. Wow, peace, y'all.
I want to thank you for taking the time to face the music with me today.
Oh, no, thank you for having me. I'm honored. Thank you.
And you and I have a little bit of a history.
Do we? What'd I do? I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
No. I am a Michael Jackson tribute artist, besides being a journalist. And I opened for you at a club in New Jersey. I think you had Jimmy Smits there as one of your friends.
I remember.
Yeah, I think it was this night.
Oh my God, yes.
And then I opened for you when you did a festival in Waterbury, Connecticut. That was me and you. That's me as Michael and you backstage.
Oh my God.
We got a little bit of a history.
Hello. Oh, it's an honor to see you again.
You're
too. Beautiful.
You are too. Thank you very much. With your solo appearances, which I've seen a couple of times, do you prefer being a part of a freestyle extravaganza or an 80s show or doing your solo performances?
It doesn't bother me. I don't care what it is, just as long as I'm on a stage performing.
Being a working artist for over 40 years now, why is performing still so vital to you at this point in your life?
It's my love. Aside from my children, it's what I love to do. I can't be without it. It's my well-being. So I thank God that I'm able to do it still to this day. And if I can't do it, I don't know what will happen to me.
You entered this business as a professional at the very impressionable age of 13.
Yeah.
As far as the intricacies of show business, what do you understand now about success and fame that you didn't at that age?
Ooh, that's a hard one. What I understand now is that I truly love what I do, and everything else to me is just whatever. Anything to perform. I love to sing and to be on a stage for my audience. That's all that matters. So everything else, push it to the side. I don't focus on anything but the music and the performance when I'm on a stage. Stay true to your craft. Don't listen to all the birdies, because everybody's always trying to dib and dab into everything that you have and you own. And that's basically it. Don't take everything too serious. You know, everybody's opinion is not always the best opinion. Again, stay true to your craft and what you do and what you love, and you will succeed.
Within 3 years of joining Full Force, you were signed to a record label, and soon after, your songs I Wonder If I Take You Home, which I believe was discovered by producer Kenny Beck in a discard bin.
Yep. Wow, that name. Back there.
And Can You Feel the Beat? They both charted at #1 and #6 respectively on the US dance charts. Was there a defining moment in that period when you knew that this is what you wanted to do with your life? And did others in your life realize the importance of that moment?
I think I realized it when The first time was when I did the Ave Maria for my mom. We were in a church choir, all the sisters. I'm the youngest of 10. There's 7 girls and 3 boys, and all the girls were in the church choir. We did Spanish gospel. There you go. And when I did the Ave Maria, I think I was 6 years old, 5 or 6 years old. And I saw the tears in her eyes. That was the one defining moment that said, this is what I'm doing in my life, because I felt it here. I had to do it. The second time was when we were on a tour, and the last stop was New York City, my hometown. Um, it was late. I remember it was about midnight, and I asked the driver, we were on a tour bus. I asked the driver, can you please pull in front of Radio City? We would do 3 sold out shows. It was great. I used to beg my mom, Mommy, please make sure that my name is up in lights one day. So I asked them, drive in front of there. I don't care what time it is. I pulled out the bus and I looked up, and scrolling was Lisa and Culture. It freaked me out, but I was in tears, and I thanked God, and I got on the floor and I kissed the ground. I did. And I said, thank you, Jesus, because that was it for me.
Yeah, that's one of the big signs.
Yeah.
So finding your voice among all of that commotion had to be challenging for such a young lady, not withholding the fact that you're very young in a predominantly male dominant environment. Was it a struggle?
I have to say, no, it wasn't a struggle. Um, I just simply, and still to this day, love what I do. I love to sing. So just I say, as I grew in this industry, because that's what I did. I grew in the eyes of the public. I just kept finding out new things about myself, and um, that feeling and that pleasing feeling just made me continue to master my craft. That's all it took.
Being a working artist now for over 4 decades, in order for you to continue to grow and improve musically, it is incumbent, the responsibility of your audience to broaden their minds and perspectives and be willing to grow with you. Otherwise careers can become kind of adequated.
Oh, yeah.
How do you persuade your fans to continue the journey with you?
Remember what started you there. Remember what that feeling was that pulled you to that. Keep that in your heart and in your mind and in your soul, and you'll get there. Okay, because to me, again, I keep saying this, I must sound redundant, but I truly love what I do. I love to sing, and I love to sing in front of an audience. So that keeps me focused, and it makes me, let me tell you, I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler. I'm a work, and I'm gonna get to where I want to be. I'm not even a third of where I want, to where I want to be. There's so much more. I want to be the 100-year-old Puerto Rican Lena Horne on a stage. That's gonna be me. That's what I focus on.
How do you carry the heritage and legacy of your music forward through all of these years and still keep it fresh and relevant for yourself as well as new fans you connect with along the way?
I think I remind them of the hits. I continually do those hits. I never let that die. I keep putting it out there. And I stay focused on that sound. I really do. I stay focused on that sound. And that's what I do. I have so many different genres of music in my sound that I try to get the fans to remember that, and to hear the new when I do the shows. I never do uh, lip syncing or anything like that. I need for them to hear me. I need to let them know and remember that everything that I've ever done has been live, and it's all me. So just keep that out there. Once the new audience is coming, because I have people coming that have been fans forever, and they bring their children and the children's children, I try to keep them and suck them in with the old and the new.
You were born in Hell's Kitchen, New York City.
Raised, yeah.
In 67, which was a turbulent time.
Uh-huh.
What influence do you think that environment had on your profession as a singer?
The streets. The streets were everything, and still are. Hell's Kitchen is still, very up and coming, and a lot of yuppies are there, and we have a very open um, class of people. I'm gonna say it like that. And I was, let me tell you, back then it was all about the mafia, the Irish mafia, the gangs. We Puerto Ricans that were raised in Hell's Kitchen. Um, it was a mix of all of us, and we all looked out for each other. So I think that street life, I was raised in the streets. My mom, single mom, raised 10 kids on her own. I'm the youngest. You know, everything that they went through, I watched and I learned. And whatever I saw that I didn't want to get into, I stayed very far away from. But music was always there, always. My mother, she was raised in, born in in Spain, excuse me, and raised in Puerto Rico. She met my father out there, and they were in a band. It was called Parranda. And they would go, how they got paid was with food and sometimes money. They would go and knock on people's doors and sing for them, perform for them, and they'd get paid with food or, you know, sometimes a little cash. I learned from them the hustle and the bustle. If you want to keep going, if this is what you want to do, you got to work for it. That's my influence.
You released a couple of solo albums after the disbandment of Full Force. And even now, when exploring or writing new music, do you retain any pressure from your past successes?
It's, you know, I think everybody's gonna always see and think that there's pressure. But for me, again, redundantly said, I love what I do. I'm gonna put out what I love. Okay. If I hear it and I don't like it, I'm not gonna do it.
You first heard your record, I Wonder If I Take You Home, while working at Benetton. I think your girlfriend called you and told you it was on the radio.
Yeah.
And you turned the radio on and there it was.
Yeah.
I think it was on Z100. What is that experience like for an artist, hearing your song on the radio for a first time?
Still to this day, I'm in awe whenever I'm on a stage and I hear the audience singing back the lyrics word for word, no matter where I'm at. They know the lyrics, they know the songs. That's freaky. I hear it on the radio. It freaked me out that day. I remember I was behind the register and I get the phone call and she's like, you got to turn the radio on. And I'm like, really? And I turned the radio on and started screaming. The people in the store were like, what the hell is going on here? The manager comes out. I'm like, that's me. That's me. Yeah, right, Lisa. That I was like, listen, and they did, and it was me. It's still the same feeling. Still to this day, it's awe. It's pride. It's happiness. It's a mixture of so many things that the hustle is worth it.
So I heard that people would come to the store where you worked and ask for autographs while you were working.
Yeah, a lot of people in the neighborhood where I was working on. It was 57th Street and 3rd Avenue. Everybody from all the stores around the neighborhood were coming in, and my manager at the time had to call my manager's Full Force and get them to get me out of there because they couldn't have it. It was just getting crazy. I didn't want to leave the job though because I'm so used to having a job to pay bills. You know, I was nervous about that, and we were just doing gigs on the weekends. So during the week, I was working. Again, the hustle. They had to come in. I remember they came in, and I'm like, "What are you doing here?" And they were like, "You need to quit." I was like, "I'm not quitting," but I quit. Nuts.
You, along with Cult Jam bandmates Alex Mosley and Mike Hughes, went on to have 5 consecutive hit singles from 2 albums. You caught the 80s popularity of MTV. You caught that wave. So your music was on TV for most of the decade. And you were suddenly earning, like you said, earning a lot more money at this point. How did you calibrate that onslaught of fame?
I had, rest your soul, mama. I had a mom who was very, very religious, and she kept me grounded. She was like, when you come home, there's laundry to do, there's groceries to be bought, there's cleaning to be done. She kept me serious. And all of that to me was kind of strange. Again, redundantly said, I love what I do. So all of that didn't matter to me. You know, I remember there was this one time, and right up the block from where we lived, I used to go get my hair cut. And my brother was coming running down the street saying, go home. I was like, why? And he said, well, because they found out where you get your hair cut and it's crowded over there. It was a mess. I was like, damn it. I need to get my hair done. So he just took me home and it got crazy. It did. There was some times where we would be doing in stores. Remember the Tower Records and record stores and stuff? We would go in there and I would get my hair yanked, and I'd have headaches for days. And I'm wondering why. I'd have bald spots because they would rip my hair out of my head. And I understand that I do. I love them all. Like I'm a groupie myself. I saw people in the street, that I'm a fan of, and I would run up to them and say, "Can I have an autograph?" So all of that to me, I understood and never focused on. It never bothered me.
As you grew up in the epicenter of all this going on, around what age did you begin to contemplate taking charge of your art, your finances, your future? Was it an easy transition, or were you met with opposition from your record label or family or any friends?
I met with opposition from everybody. There are things that the business side of it that as time went on, I started to learn and I started asking a lot of questions. So, of course, you have to get your own lawyer, and I got my own personal management and, you know, got my own team together and they helped me out with it because still I suck at, numbers. So I need a team of people to help me. Um, but it started early because I started, asking questions.
Because of what I do, and like you, I travel quite a bit. And I've learned that travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, narrow mindedness. I mean, I've learned that all people cry, laugh, work, worry, and die. Was traveling a similar experience for you?
Oh, traveling for me is still to this day because I'm afraid of flying. I have a fear of flight and height. So, I had to go to someone, and speak to them and do therapy, so that I could function with that. I'm okay now. And to me, again, wherever I gotta go and what I gotta do to be on a stage to sing, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna work it out.
After the Lisa and Cold Jam with Full Force LP, you released Spanish Fly. And although they were similar in some respects, Fly took a turn kind of away from freestyle and edged towards pop more and hip hop. Was that the intention? And did you worry about maybe alienating some fans?
When we first started, when our song was first released, it was considered an R&B song, a pop R&B song. So I wasn't focusing on what genre of music I was doing. We were just putting out what we loved and the sound that was so hip and in the clubs at the time, because that sound, my sound, was what the DJs were playing and what the break dancers, were playing while they were dancing, linoleum floor, shell top Adidas, big fat shoelaces, that's what they were doing. So I never focused on it really. I didn't know at the time that it was freestyle music. I just thought, we would put music out. Um, so basically, the next album, we focused on what we loved and what was here and here to record. That's all we did.
After the passing of your manager, sorry for your loss, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
You joined Snoop Dogg's organization.
I did.
Now there's talk of new music, films,
Yes,
and
yes.
even a fashion boot line.
Yes, I'm so excited about that because anybody who knows me knows I live in boots. Wherever I go, it doesn't matter what kind of boot, what style of boot, what height of boot, I'm gonna be in a pair of boots. So we decided that, I'm gonna put my own line out because I usually, style the boot my way. I'll bling it out or I'll cut something from it, whatever. So it's gonna be a boot line that comes with hats. So look for that. But yeah, um, after the passing of my manager, rest her soul, Stephanie Soraka, before that, a year prior to her, she died of cancer. Uh, we were talking and we had names in place already of whom, we're going to take over the management thing. And when she passed, and she passed so suddenly, I got phone calls and I spoke with Bobby D from Bobby D Presents, who manages Snoop and his wife. And he was like, yo, we want to manage you. And I was like, I'm in, let's go. We went from there. We went from there. And it's been nothing but, oh man, great camaraderie and work and more music. And hopefully the music will be done that we can release it either by the end of this year or early next. Fingers crossed. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of indie films too. And, I've done a lot of TV appearances.
Does this propulsive and creative force you have inside you, do you prefer to take risk and roam into uncharted territory, or do you feel safer going with the devil you know as opposed to the devil you don't know?
I like throwing myself into anything. If something comes at me and I get that feeling, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So, I mean, I majored in musical theater when I was in high school during my career because I started so early. I need to get my foot in everything because there's so much more to be done, and I love it all, and I love the audience, and whatever I got to do, I'm in it. So look out.
I want to dive into today's climate and the semblance of artists like Marley, Sam Cooke, Marvin Gaye, Springsteen, Dylan, and even recently the Dixie Chicks, who have used their music and their platform to speak out against political, racial, and environmental injustices. Do you think it's an artist's duty to reflect the times? Or do you think it's better to use your voice and risk losing fans, or to keep quiet? Are there boundaries?
I think if they feel it necessary to use that platform, and it's always best, to use your platform because you have such a grand audience. I think it's cool that they do that. I definitely think it's cool that they do that. I'm one that doesn't like to talk politics because I have a strong opinion. Sometimes my opinion doesn't come across correctly, because please forgive me, I have a dirty mouth. I try to get my point across. It just doesn't come out right sometimes. So I choose not to speak on politics, but whomever does, I'm with you 100%. I'm a Democrat and I'm a Latina and a strong one. So you know where that goes.
Yes, ma'am. To what extent do you feel music has the potential of being transformative or a way to change people's ideologies?
I think it's all about the story. Music is a universal language, and everything that I put out there is a story. And that's basically the story of my life and everything I've been through and how I can speak to you, So I think the audience, once they hear that, they know where we're coming from. They're able to choose on which way to go with that.
Music, more than anything, is the universal element that connects us all.
Get it.
I mean, it's the one thing that every human, no matter where you go, can relate to. What do you have planned for the future to keep that ideology going?
Stay true to my craft, stay true to who I am, and put out exactly what I need to say and what I love. I speak through my music. So let that be your ideology. I love your hair, by the way.
Fried, dyed, and laid to the side.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. It looks good. Oh, God bless you. You look great. You look like you're 12 and you got a 20-year-old? Oh, wow. God bless you. Your skin is fabulous.
Yoga.
Okay, I'm going to start doing yoga then.
All right, some fun questions. What is the most used app on your phone?
Amazon.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry.
What movie have you watched repeatedly?
Okay, so my very favorite movie, there's two of them. The Pope of Greenwich Village and The Idolmaker. Those two, constantly watching it. Constantly. I can't tell you how many times I've watched those two movies because they're my most favorite of all time.
If allowed only one book in your possession, which would it be?
Animal Farm.
Really?
I know, right? Weird,
Wow.
right? But it's the point. It's getting that point across from the book that got me. So I have 2 copies. One of them I took from school, and the other copy I took from the library, and I kept them and I handed them over to my boys. So I love that book and everything about it.
Your favorite cartoon character growing up?
Betty Boop.
Really?
Collect her. I collect Betty Boop. I have statues of her, original pieces that I have hidden. I love Betty Boop.
What's a habit you'd like to break?
A habit I'd like to break? Eating chocolate. It's so hard. It's either that or coffee, and I'll never give coffee up ever. So I gotta pick chocolate. That it's just so hard. I try sometimes to give it up, like for Lent, a couple of times I gave up coffee, and then I stopped doing that. And then I started giving up chocolate for Lent, and that's getting difficult.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Take You Home. I know it. It's real easy for me, so I do that.
All right, we'll wrap up there. I want to thank you so much for taking the time. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Just if you guys can log into my Instagram at Lisa LL77 or the real Lisa LL77. The same thing on Facebook, Twitter.
Well, Lisa, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to face the music. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you at one of the gigs here in Connecticut.
Oh, you will. I promise you that. You know how to get to me, so please be there.
I will. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. God bless.
You too. Bye-bye, love.